the subject of the shiur is Tachanun. What do we know about Tachanun? So today we speak what is Tachanun, number one. Number two, we're going to speak about the source, where is Tachanun come. Why on Monday and on Thursday is a longer Tachanun. I'm sure that you have those questions before. Then we speak about the Nusachim, the version of the Tachanun. We're also going to explain that we see that the difference is that in Shahrit, we lean on the right, and in Mincha, we lean on the left. Well, how come? What's the difference? Then, finally, we're going to speak about the day that we don't say Tachanun. So we will go through all of those. So, Be'ezrat Hashem, na'aseh v'natzliach, v'Hashem alenu berachamav yiriyah. By the way, the subject of the Tachanun been asked by our friend Philip. He asked us, please, make a show about Tachanun, explain what is Tachanun. So what is Tachanun? What do we know about Tachanun? Tachanun is a prayer that we say, as we all know, it's a prayer of supplication that we say every day after Hazarat HaShatz. What it means, Hazarat HaShatz? Shh. After Hazarat HaShatz, we say in Shahrit and in Mincha, okay? We do a confession. After the repetition, we do a confession. That's what Tachanun is. What is the confession? The confession is that we ask for sorry for the sins that we done, if we done. Not all of us do sinning, but if we done sin, we have to ask for forgiveness. Where is the source for it from the Torah? Where is the source that teaches us that we have to say Tachanun? Did you ask yourself? So the source comes from Sefer Bamidbar in Parashat Naso, chapter 5, verse 5 and 6. There the Torah teaches us that we have to do a confession. What does it say there? Ish ve'isha, a man or a woman. Ki asu mikol hatat adam, hatot adam. What does it mean? That a man or a woman, if they sin, they done a sin, okay? Then the Torah continue. I'm not going to say all the psukim. V'yitvadu et hatotam. That means that they should do a confession. That if a man or a woman, the Torah tells us, has v'shalom done a sin, they're obligated to do a confession. So the source for doing Tachanun comes from the Torah. It's mitzvah taseh. Now, the Rambam, Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon, the Maimonite, that born 881 years ago, he born in the city of Cordova in Spain. And in his book Mishneh Torah, in the law of the Tefillah, the law of davening, okay, he explained that it's a mitzvah from the Torah to say confession. That when we say confession in the morning, Rabotai, many of us quite often happy not to do them because it takes maybe 2 minutes more, extra 2 minutes, maybe, okay? But the Rambam said that it's a mitzvah from the Torah. And what does it say? That those mitzvot, that has v'shalom, that the person didn't fulfill, I don't want to say avo, but he didn't fulfill all the mitzvot. If it's negative or positive command, that has v'shalom, he make a sin, okay? He's obligated to do a confession. That means that we have the positive command from the Torah and we have the negative. If Chaz v'Shalom, a man didn't fulfill one of those mitzvot, okay, obligate to do a confession. What is a confession? Then you ask yourself. So the Rambam explained like this. What is a confession? The Rambam explained in his book, Mishneh Torah again, in Ilchot Tshuva, and the law of Tshuva, and the law of repentance. In chapter 1, verse 1, Siman 1, it's verse 1, okay, because in English you don't have siman or pasuk, you know what I'm saying? So we call it verse 1. In Perek Aleph, Siman Aleph, the Rambam explained how do you do confession. And the Rambam say like this. A person should say, Hatati, Aviti, Pashati, Lefanecha Hashem. You have to say that first. Everyone understand what I'm saying? Then he's obligated also to say what he sinned. What was his sin? Asiti lefanecha kach vekach. That's the word of the Rambam. That means that the person, if he sinned, obligated to do a confession. And he has to ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu for forgiveness. And not only that, he's obligated to say what was the sin and to regret on it. That means that he regrets and he asks for forgiveness for what he done. That's a confession that the Rambam tells us and how to do it. Okay. Now come the question that we're all asking. How come that on Monday and on Thursday the Tachanun is a bit longer? Nachon? Did you ask yourself what's the difference?
It should be shorter.
Okay. So the answer to it comes from the Maran Shulchan Aruch, Rabbi Yosef Karo, that wrote the Shulchan Aruch, and the Rama, Rabbi Moshe Isherlish. Rabbi Moshe Isherlish wrote, and the Maran, in Siman Kuf Lamed Dalet. Kuf Lamed Dalet, that means chapter 134, okay? Sa'if Aleph, verse 1, they explain that the main reason that we're doing extra Tachanun on Monday and Thursday, listen to the word that they say, she'elu hem yemei ratzon v'tfila bahem mitkabelet. What does it mean? She'elu hem yemei ratzon. That means those are the days that our prayer get accepted up in heaven. That means Monday and Thursday we learn that the prayer that we sing will be accepted much more than any other days. So that's the main reason that on Monday and Thursday we do a long Tachanun. We understand before we move on? Any question? No. Okay. Now, when is the Tachanun being said? We say straight after the repetition. On Shahrit in the morning and Minha during the day. That we all know. But how many of you that they know that there is a prohibition that not to talk from the first time that the person said the Amidah or the Tfilat Shmona Esrei, okay, until after the repetition. Not after the repetition, after the Tachanun. A person not allowed to talk. Okay? And the Maran Shulchan Aruch wrote in Siman Kuf Lamed Aleph, 131, okay, verse 1, and also the Mishnah Berurah in verse 1, on the same thing. They explain what's the reason that we're not allowed to talk from the beginning that we start saying the Amidah or Tfilat Shmona Esrei, okay, until after we finish the Tachanun. And they say like this, that the main reason for it, okay, that shehem tzmudim echad lasheni ve'al yedei kach atfila mitkabelet. What does it mean? That because the Tfilat Shmona Esrei and the repetition is one after each other, and they're close to each other, and the Tachanun comes straight after the repetition, because they're close to each other, and they're like one unit, we're not allowed to talk during that time. That means from the beginning that the person say Tfilat Shmona Esrei until after the Tachanun, there is a prohibition to talk. Now, I don't know how many of you know, but there is a difference in a nusach of the Tachanun. Did you know about it? Okay, so I will explain. There is different version of Tachanun. And the reason for it that there is version of the Tachanun started already in a time that the Jewish people was in Eretz Israel, and when they was in Babylon, people used to say the Tachanun, the minhag was, the custom was, that each one say it in a language that he understand, in his own language. He used to confess. And when he used to confess, okay, he used to say it in a way that he know in his own language. Like, for example, we know that in Babylon they speak Aramaic. You remember? Now, Aramaic, sorry. So you see that the language, even in the Aramaic, between the Talmud Bavli and Talmud Yerushalmi is different. Because Baba, for example, is a gate, nachon? Sha'ar. But I hear that Baba in the Talmud Yerushalmi, it's actually a candle. Baba, it's a candle, not Shraga. Shraga in Talmud Bavli is a candle. So there is a different language. So therefore, in that time that the Jewish people was in Babylon or in Eretz Israel, they say the Tachanun and the language that they understood, the language that they get used to. Later on, in the 11th century to the 15th century, okay, that was the time of the Rishonim, okay, the Tachanun took a shape. What it means took a shape? That they put an order for it. That means that the version become one version, they make one version. Although 400 years ago, plus minus, okay, there is few versions that change in the Tachanun. For example, the Sfaradim, when they say Tachanun, what did they do first? They do a vidui first, then they do Shloshes Remidot. Okay? Everyone understand what Shloshes Remidot? Shloshes Remidot, those the 13 principles, am I right? That you say. Amonai, Amonai, El Rahum Vehanun, Erech Apayim, Verav Chesed Ve'emet. That's the 13 principle. So the Sfaradim, when they started their Tachanun, they do first confession, then they do Yud Gimel Midot, 13 principle, okay, and then they continue. The Ashkenazim do it differently. They don't say Vidui, they don't say Shlosh Esrei Midot, they go LeDavid, נכון? Now that's a pasuk from Tehillim, that they say it from Tehillim. Okay? So from here we see that the change of the Tachanun and the version in the Nusach came when? 400 years ago. You follow? Okay. Now, there is a famous question that everyone asks. I don't know how many of you take notice, but in Shaharit, when you say Tachanun, you lean on your right hand, not on the left. In Minha, you lean on your left. נכון? Sorry? Unless you left-handed. Okay. If you left-handed, then you put the tefillin, then you do it. So then you do it both. But in general, most of the people that lay the tefillin on the left hand, in Shahrit, they lean the head on the right hand. נכון? You ask yourself what's the difference. So the main reason that in Shaharit, in Tfilat Shaharit, that when we say the Tachanun, we lean on the right hand, it's because we have the tefillin on the left. In that Anna, that we're asking for forgiveness, we lean our head on the right and not on the left. But when it's come to Minha, when we say Tachanun, we lean on the left. Why? Why dafka on the left that we have to lean? So the explanation is, say, who? Okay. But why dafka on the left? We explain why on the right, because the tefillin is there. It's not ana to lie on it. You know, it's not kavod. But in Minha, that we don't have tefillin, okay, you put your head on the left-hand side. Why dafka on the left? That's the question.
We give each arm a chance.
So, according to Spencer, sorry? Okay, so let's see now. Let's see if you're right.
Supposed to be on the left.
Yes, definitely. We're saying it. There is no question about it. But because we have the tefillin, that's what we're explaining. It's not an ana to lie, to lean on top of the tefillin and to say tahan. You follow? It's not that. For sure, that is no question about it. But in Shahrit, it's not nice to lean on it. So the question now, if it's supposed to be on the left, why dafka on the left? It's not chokhmah to tell me that it's on the left. When you do a mitzvot, you have to understand why you're doing it. Why is it so important that on Minha, that I don't have tefillin, I'm obligated to lean on my left arm? You understand? Shahrit is easy. There is a tefillin, it's not nice. It's the honor of the tefillin. You can't lean on the tefillin. Tefillin is something that we have to treat with respect. We can't lean on them. You follow what I'm saying? So the question becomes now, why dafka on the left? So Stephen say there is midat adin, the attribute of judgment, and midat hesed, נכון? Rahamim, hesed, נכון? That the attribute of mercy. It's almost there, but it's not there, Stephen. Let me explain to you why dafka on the left. Sorry, say again?
I said left-hand side is midat adin anyway. So
Midat adin, but it's not midat adin. It's similar to that because what we're trying to do when we're leaning on the left is leachnia. What it means leachnia? To conquer the left. Why dafka the left? Because you say it's midat adin, but the main reason is where is the Yetzer Hara lie? On the left, nachon? And the left, they say that why are we putting tefillin on the left? To conquer the Yetzer Hara. Because it's on the left, close to the heart. To feel that we're close to Hashem. So to conquer Yetzer Hara that's sitting on the left, okay? We lean our head dafka on the left. To conquer that Yetzer Hara. Now you understand why we're leaning our head on top of the left hand. Yes, Stephen?
well, if you're left-handed, then you've got a problem.
Why?
Because you can't be on the left.
Why? You conquer it. You have to do the left, no matter what. If you don't lay it, the only reason that in Shahrit we don't lean on the right, because there is tefillin. But if you put tefillin
I'm a lefty.
on your right hand, not on the left, where do you lean? On the left. So kal v'chomer et minha. You understand? Ze'ev, you with me? Or if you lost me, stop me.
No.
You with me? Sorry?
I have a question.
You have a question. Yes, Simon.
What happens during Chalamoid?
We'll get to it. We'll get to it. On Chol HaMoed you don't say Tachanun.
No, we don't.
So there's no question. But I'll get to it now. Which day we say Tachanun, I'm going to get to it. So let me just explain that. So
Hold on, my understanding was that you left-handers do it exactly the opposite to right.
on Shahrit.
And for mincha.
Sorry.
And for mincha.
If you are right-handed, you lay your tefillin on your left.
Left, yeah.
So you don't lean on your left, you lean on your right.
Got it.
But if you are left-handed, where do you lean? You lay your tefillin on your
You're right.
right. Where do you lean? On your left.
Yeah.
You understand? That's in Shahrit.
Yeah.
In Minha, also on the left, because there's no tefillin. The only reason that I don't lean on the left, you know why? In honor of the tefillin, it's not kavod. You follow? Is that clear now?
Yeah.
Any other question before we continue? Because now I'm moving to a different subject. Anyone ask? Yes, sorry.
What about Tisha B'Av?
No.
Tisha B'Av, we don't
No,
say
no,
Tachanun.
Tachanun.
I'll get to it. I'll get to all the day that we say. I'm going to get to it now. So there is certain days that we don't say Tachanun. Which are those days? Okay? I'm going to go days. I'm going to go places that we don't say Tachanun. Okay? And then I go months. You follow? It's a bit confusing. So if you just give me time, I will explain everything. Okay, so the day that we don't say Tachanun, Shabbat, Nachon, Rosh Chodesh, and festival. Simon, are you with me? Those 3 days you agree with me. Other days that we don't do Tachanun, if there is a Hatan in a shul, you don't say Tachanun. You follow? Hatan, you know what is a Hatan? A groom. If a groom is in a shul, you don't say Tachanun. You know that. Sorry.
Why don't you say Tachanun?
I'll get to it. Wait. Then if there is a Brit, we don't say Tachanun. Okay? On the day that there is a Brit in a shul, you don't say Tachanun. Okay. So now why do we don't say Tachanun when there is a Hatan or there is a Brit? Because that's the day of joys for them. Okay? And a Hatan considered as a king for 7 days that if he come to shul, to the same minyan or to the same shul, they don't say Tachanun. Follow? The Brit, what does mean a Brit? Even if the moel there, or the father, okay? The father of the baby is there, okay? Or the sandak, we don't say Tachanun. Follow? As long as they're there. So those are the days that we don't say Tachanun. Now, which places we don't say Tachanun? in the house of the Mona, in the house of people that sitting Shiva lo Aleinu, we don't say Tachanun. Why? Now you should ask why. Because we say that if there is a Hatan, that it's a day of joy, it's a day of happy, you understand, of the Brit Milah, we don't say Tachanun, nachon? So why on a day of the mourners?
Why a daughter is born?
Akon here.
A daughter is born. Is that not simcha? And
A daughter, yes. A daughter when she born definitely is a simcha. But it's not like a simcha of a boy. Why? Because you're doing a birthday. מכניסו בבריתו של אברהם אבינו. There is a mitzvah from the Torah that on the 8 days, if the baby healthy and the doctor have no problem with that, on the 8th day we're obligated to do a bris, even if it's Shabbat, and even if it's Yom Kippur, we do a bris. You follow, Joe? Yes, Simon.
Now, what if I'm
Simon, speak loud.
What if I'm far away from the shul and then I daven alone, maybe far away from the shul? Then can I do it when I daven alone?
If you daven alone, can you say Tachanun, you're asking?
Yes.
Definitely. You have to say Tachanun. You mean you're davening, let's say that you drive now to your business in Pretoria. That's what you're asking. And you can't get to a minyan. Correct me if I'm right. And you don't have a minyan, and you're davening by yourself.
Yeah.
Do you say Tachanun or not? Definitely. You have to say Tachanun. You follow? Yes.
If you're not in a shul where there's an Aron Kodesh, then
You don't. Yeah, but he asked if you say Tachanun. Tachanun you have to say. Obligated. You mean if he put his head down?
Yes.
That's a different thing because there is no Sefer Torah. You don't have to. Yes. Any other question?
Yeah, tell me, Erev Shabbos and Erev Chag we don't say.
Lama Erev Shabbat we say.
Not
You mean on Mincha?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But now,
Sorry.
if you daven mincha early at 12:30, do that.
Before Hatzot Yom, but you can't daven before Hatzot Yom. So you don't say.
12:30 is considered you don't.
Die, Hatzot Yom. Hatzot Yom, you can't. You follow. Let's continue else. Why, wait, but now we didn't answer why in the house of the Mona we don't say Tachanun. Rabotai, let me finish one subject. When I finish, I'll give time to ask questions, because otherwise I forget. So we say that if there is a bris, or there is a hatan in a shul, we don't say Tachanun. But in the house of the Mona, why we don't say Tachanun? So Hazal explained, because Shemidat adin metuha. Sham. What does it mean? That the attribute of judgment is very strong on that place. Why? Because a person died. And why a person died? Because there is an attribute of a judgment on that house. Therefore, we don't want to add up more and to say that we're asking for sorry and forgiveness for the sins that we done. We rather don't say Tachanun. Follow? One more custom before I move on. There is a custom, and that's the custom of the Hasidim. The custom of the Hasidim, on a day of the Yortzeit of the Rebbe, okay, if it's a Admor, whatever it was, they don't say Tachanun. That's a custom of the Hasidim only, okay? We don't follow it, okay? Any question? Now,
but that's because of Simcha.
because according to them, it's a day that they do Hilula to the Rebbe. You follow? But not, it's only the Hasidim. Only Hasidim do that. No one else. You follow? Any question? No, let's continue. Now we're going to go to the months that we don't do Tachanun and which day, and that will help you. Let's start with Chodesh Tishrei. Chodesh Tishrei, we don't say in Aleph Tishrei and Bet Tishrei. What it means? On the first, on the second of Tishrei, we don't say Tachanun. Nachon. Also, which other days we don't say?
The whole of Tishrei.
No.
You say on Aseret Yemei Tshuva.
Aseret Yemei Tshuva. No. But that's I agree with you. נכון.
He's saying Aseret
נכון.
Yemei Teshuvah.
Until
Until
I say only which 2 days I say no. Aleph and Bet.
yeah.
Okay? Yud Aleph. Okay? From the day of Yud Aleph, okay, until the end of Tishrei, no Tachanun.
Plus half of the next month.
Rega. That's Tishrei. Kislev. Which day we don't do Tachanun? From the 25th of Kislev, that start Hanukkah, okay, until the end of the month of Kislev. That means from the 25th of Kislev to the end of month of Kislev, we don't say Tachanun. You follow? You with me? Or should I repeat everything? Tishrei, Aleph and Bet, the first and the second. From the 11th of Tishrei onwards, we don't say Tachanun until the end. Kislev from the 25th, because it's Hanukkah, until the end of Hanukkah. Okay, on that the end of Kislev we don't say, and then part of Tevet, because part of Tevet also a few days of Hanukkah we don't say. You follow? Let's move on. Chodesh Shvat, only 1 day a month that we don't say, and that's in Tu B'Shvat. The 15th of Shvat we don't say Tachanun. Okay? Then come Adar. Now become a problem here. We have to remember. If we have one Adar, not two Adarim, okay? Because I'm going to explain both. If there is one Adar and a 14 and the 15 of Adar, that's Purim, we don't say Tachanun. If we have two Adar, Adar Aleph and Adar Bet, it's the same. Why? Because Adar Aleph we don't say in the 14 and the 15 because it's Purim Katan. Nachon?
No, Shushan Purim.
Purim Katan. We call it Purim Katan.
Shushan Purim.
We don't say Shushan Purim Katan. Purim Katan we call it. Shushan Purim and Purim, Purim Katan. Then in Adar Bet, that's really Purim and Shushan Purim, like you call it, okay? Like everyone call it. We don't do in Adar Bet the 14 and the 15. So from here we see the difference. If we have two Adarim, 2 months of Adar, both of them, in the 14 and the 15, we don't say Tachanun. If we have only just 1 month of Adar, okay, we don't say on the 14 and the 15. After the month of Adar, let me just finish that. Wait, I'll come. After that come the month of Nisan. The entire month of Nisan, we don't say Tachanun. Okay? Now I'm going to stop because we have Iyar. Iyar is a long thing. Yes?
All the second days of Yom that you have got in Israel.
Sorry?
Yom Sheni
Of Galuyot.
In Israel, they don't say Tachanun there either on the second day. So our second day...
It's Isur Hag, no? Isn't it Isur Hag? Okay. Chodesh Iyar, the month of Iyar, here we see that we don't say few days. On the 5th of Iyar, okay, it's Yom HaAtzmaut, the day of independence, they don't say Tachanun. Except certain sector. But I saw that Rav Ovadia and his minyan, when he used to be alive, Zecher Tzaddik V'Kadosh Libracha, he never used to say Tachanun, the day of independence. Then come Yudaled Iyar, the 14th of Iyar, we don't say Tachanun. That's Pesach Katan. Pesach Sheni, sorry. What is Pesach Sheni? Everyone know what is Pesach Sheni?
Second chance.
Okay. That people that, in Bamidbar, Shirkoach, people that was Tme'im, Bamidbar, during Pesach, and they couldn't celebrate the sacrificing of Korban Pesach, they got a second chance, okay, on the 14th of Iyar, to bring the sacrifice of Pesach, to celebrate Pesach. So 14th of Iyar, we don't do. That's Pesach Sheni. Yud Het Iyar, the 18th of Iyar, you know what is it? Lag BaOmer. On Lag BaOmer, we don't say Tachanun, נכון? Then Kaf Het Iyar, the 28th of Iyar, that's Yom Yerushalayim. Everyone know what it means, Yom Yerushalayim? The day that they release Jerusalem from the day of the Jordanian. Call it Yom Yerushalayim, they don't say Tachanun. Then come Chodesh Sivan. In Chodesh Sivan, we don't say on the 1st of Sivan, on the 12th of Sivan. Okay. Chodesh Av,
What's on the 12th of Sivan?
I don't really remember.
No, it's Sivan.
No, sorry.
Sivan is Shavuot.
Sorry, hold on, I make a mistake. From the 1st of Sivan to the 12th of Sivan, we don't say because it's Shavuot. Sorry. Chodesh Sivan, Yisher Koach, you correct me. From the 1st of Sivan to the 12th of Sivan, because it's Shavuot, we don't say Tachanun. Then come Chodesh Av. In Chodesh Av, we don't do 2 days. Tisha B'Av, the 9 of Av, we don't say Tachanun. Who asked me about Tisha B'Av? I think you. Yes, that's the answer. On Tisha B'Av, we don't say Tachanun. Okay, those are the day that we don't. And then we have the 15th of Av, that's Tu B'Av. לא היו ימים, the Gemara in מסכת, I think ראש השנה, לא היו ימים טובים לישראל, מסכת תענית או מסכת ראש השנה? מסכת תענית, נכון? I think so, I'm not sure. Yeah. לא היו ימים טובים לישראל כט"ו באב. The 15th of Av was a good day for the Jewish people. Therefore, we don't say Tachanun. Which other day that we don't say in Rosh, in the month of Elul? There is one day in Elul that we don't say Tachanun, Rabotai. Kaftet, the 29th of Elul. What is that? Erev Rosh Hashanah. So, in the Erev of Rosh Hashanah, the 29th of Elul, we don't do Tachanun.
In the morning.
Yeah, but we don't do it all. We don't do it all. What do you mean in the morning? We don't do any Tachanun. But even in the evening we won't. Because it's Rosh Hashanah in the evening. So because that, those are the days that we don't do Tachanun. The months that we don't Tachanun, I explained the places that we don't do Tachanun. You follow? Now I'm going to give time for question. Any question?
So if you're not putting on tefillin on a specific day for whatever reason,
but it's not the issue because there's days that we put tefillin and we don't say Tachanun.
Let's say you left your tefillin at home. Let's say you're borrowing tefillin and it comes
Yes.
So you go on your left.
If you're in a minyan and there is Sefer Torah, yes. If you daven by yourself, like I explained to Simon, if you daven by yourself and there is no Aron Kodesh, yes. You follow? You don't lean. You follow? You don't lean on your arm.
The day fast?
Sorry, say again?
The day fast, 9 Tevet, all of that.
No, you say Tachanun.
And the 9 of Tivet, yeah. Tisha B'Av is different. Tisha B'Av and Yom Kippur is different game. You understand?
So it's not a fast day.
No, it has nothing to do with a fast day. It just happened that Tisha B'Av and Yom Kippur, we don't say, but it has nothing to do. Because if you look at it, if we look at Ta'anit Esther, we do Tachanun, נכון? נכון? In the morning.
Yes.
So the only, sorry?
Yeah, we do it all.
That's what I'm saying. So the only 2 days of fast that we don't sing, Ivan, Tisha B'Av and Yom Kippur. You follow? Any other question regarding Tachanun? Because what I try to summarize in this little time that we have, everything about the Tachanun. First of all, what is Tachanun? Second of all, the source that comes from the Torah. Okay? I explained the Nusachim. That means the version that we have. Why do we lean on the right arm in the morning? Why do we lean on the left arm at Minha? Then the days that we don't do, the places that we don't do, okay? And which months that we don't do. Any other question? No. Okay. Baruch Hashem, we're going to say Kaddish. Okay. Rabbi.